and I am going to get this started. So, welcome to today's training. This training is titled How to Reboot Your Metabolism So You Can Permanently Lose Your Stubborn Fat. And so you've probably heard me talk about, or maybe you haven't if you're new here, but I've talked about the main problem that's been keeping most people from losing their stubborn fat, especially belly fat, thigh fat, hip fat, things like that. And it's because of a damaged metabolism, which we're going to get into today. And I want to give you, like, really, I'm pulling back the curtain, probably more so than I've done in a lot of the previous trainings, just because I want to help give some more clarity and help give you some more like step-by-step instructions on exactly what to do to fix the situation. And so if you're somebody if you've been stuck and struggling, maybe you've lost weight, you've gained weight, you've lost weight, you've gained weight, or maybe you've been stuck in a plateau, this training is going to help you uncover a lot of things and hopefully help paint a very clear picture on what you can do next. So I do want to say, if you're watching this on the replay or even live, like, I want to make sure, like, if you're doing this on the replay or watching this rather, put hashtag replay if you're going to ask a question or comment, just so I know that it was on the replay and I can circle back to you. And if you're watching this live, you get the benefit to ask a question. If you have a specific question for me, ask it while I'm doing this, and I'll be able to jump in and be able to answer your questions too, either while I'm live or I'll circle back literally right after I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. And I trust everybody can see this. As I'm going into this, I will be checking my phone for comments or questions. So what I ask is, please let me know if you could see this okay right now. What you should be seeing on my screen is the actual training, where it says the purpose of this training is to teach you how to reboot your metabolism so you can permanently lose your stubborn fat. Give me a heart emoji, or just drop below if you could see this, and I will continue on with the assumption that you can. So this is really, really important. Now, I want to really not nail this down into your heads, is that if I can even talk, diets destroy your metabolism. So I want you to understand this. If you fix your metabolism, the fat will fall off. And I'm going to explain exactly why, how, and what you need to do to make that a reality. So why else does your metabolism get damaged in the first place? Well, age has something to do with it. In fact, every year after the age of 30, we will lose muscle tissue unless we're doing something to prevent it. I'm going to be diving into what you need to do here in just a moment. Diets, as I just mentioned, a lot of diets, especially for women that are getting told to eat under 1,200 calories, or for men that are getting told to eat under 1,500 calories, this is significantly hurting you right now, significantly hurting your metabolism, your hormones. And this is a reason why, if you do lose weight on a diet, most of the time you're going to gain it back and then some. Cardio. Too much cardio eats your muscle tissue up and is going to wreck your metabolism. This is a very big thing that I see with a lot of these programs out there, like especially like the Beachbody programs and a lot of these things that just have you doing a way too much cardio and not enough strength training. And then restriction. So similar to diets, like restriction, I'm talking about where diets are telling you not to eat carbs and cutting out a lot of these foods. Absolutely not good for you. And I'm going to explain why and what to do. And then stress and sleep. Like, if you're always stressed, you're going to have your hormones, like your cortisol levels, a lot of things thrown off. And this is also going to damage your hormones, which is going to have a massive impact on the metabolism as well. And so what do we need to do? We're going to go right into this. This is a very quick training today. This is only going to be roughly 10 to 15 minutes. And so I want to get right into it. So fixing and rebooting your metabolism, okay? This is really, really key. Now, as I just mentioned, the main reason you're storing stubborn body fat, especially around the belly, is because of a broken metabolism, damaged metabolism, whatever we want to actually frame it as. It means the same thing. What happens is, literally, like, and I'm telling you right now, if you lost weight, and if you're like, do I have a damaged metabolism, Jason? Listen, if you've lost weight and gained it back, that's yes. If you're stuck right now and you're struggling and you still have like at least a pinch, if not a handful of belly fat, then the answer is yes. Okay. And we've already talked about why this is happening. So let's go ahead and get right into, like, well, let me first talk about this, because you need to understand this context to be able to understand what I'm going to be telling you to do. And so your hormones, your metabolism is directly linked with your hormones. if your hormones are unbalanced, you're not going to be able to like literally rid yourself of stubborn fat cells. So this is very, very clear, because it doesn't matter what workout program you do, what diet you're doing. It doesn't matter about any of that stuff. If you are literally not getting this balanced out, your hormones balanced out, you're going to be stuck and frustrated for a while. And so like what happens, our bodies, and I'm not going to get too much into the science because I know most people don't care. And if you do, you can reach out to me separately, and I'll be more than happy to share with you more of the science behind this. But just know that we have what's called a metabolic set point inside of our bodies. And this is a thing for survival. And so when you lose weight and you have a damaged metabolism, or you're damaging your metabolism, you're going to gain all of that weight back and then some. This is a survival mechanism in our body. And so once you reset the metabolism, you will be able to actually balance everything out, which will help you release your fat cells. And I'm going to walk you through how and why that happens. So how do you reboot it? So step number one, and by the way, throughout this presentation, like I said, I am talking in a presentation style, but I am also looking for your questions, your comments, and concerns throughout this. I have my phone right here so I can kind of check in as well. So don't hesitate to ask a question throughout this presentation, okay? Throughout this training. So step number one is what we call metabolic primer resistance training workouts, plus being in a slight calorie deficit. So I'm going to explain exactly what this means in just a second. I'm not going to leave you high and dry. But what I do want you to be aware of is if you are doing too much cardio during this phase where we're rebooting the metabolism and you're cutting your calories too low, which I'm going to explain in just a minute, you're going to be doing your body a disservice. You're going to be actually causing more harm than good. Okay, we're going to get into this in just a second, so I promise I won't leave you high and dry on this. Step number two is what we call metabolic accelerator resistance training workouts, plus the same calorie deficit. Okay, and again, avoid too much cardio during this phase, which we'll go into in just a moment, and avoid cutting your calories once again. And the third step in rebooting the metabolism is metabolic peak resistance workouts. So this is just where we're focused more on strength versus endurance, which I'm going to break down for you right now. So the workout solution. So I call these workouts metabolic intensity training. What this means right now. So if you've done one of my programs before, then you know exactly what this is. If you have not, what this is progressive resistance training workouts, like strength training workouts, plus high intensity interval training workouts. This is the only method that is effective for losing stubborn fat. Okay, the only workout method that's effective, because we're actually doing things that are going to build lean muscle on the body. When this happens, when you could do this and I don't just mean lifting weights just to lift them, you actually have to have the structure and strategy behind it. This is what's going to help you straight up. It's going to help you optimize your metabolism. Because right now, like, I just call it like it is. Your metabolism and your hormones are not running at full capacity, so you'll never get the results you want when you're operating at this level. So it literally means to level yourself up. And so in order to do this effectively, you know that we have to build lean muscle fiber. And like lean muscle fiber, like you're not going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? All this means is you're building these little fibers on your body. And when this happens, this makes your metabolism work harder, because your metabolism has to work harder when you have lean muscle. So does this make sense so far? And so whenever your metabolism is working harder, your hormones are functioning better, and now your body is literally burning more fat. And so you have to think about like this, right? Think about lean muscle like Pac-Man. So the more lean muscle fiber you have, the more like Pac-Man's going to be eating up all of those little delicious treats around his little board, his little game. Same thing's going to happen inside of your body. Okay, so really, really important is that muscle shapes your body. Muscle will burn and eat up fat. Okay, really important to know. And so this works in a very simple way. I don't know how much you know about this stuff, and I'm not going to get too deep into detail, but I did want to provide a little know-how. And so it's the mitochondrial activation, which is basically changing your structures, the structure of your actual fat cells, okay? And then the next thing is going to be the lean muscle stimulation. This is literally just a process of adding lean muscle fiber. And then the last thing that you need to know here for the workouts and to actually reboot yourself is the nervous system acceleration, which is what's beginning to balance your fat burning hormones, okay? Like the insulin levels and everything that I'm about to tell you right now. And so in order for this kind of thing to be effective to reboot yourself, you have to do this progressive strength training with the high intensity training at least 3 times a week minimum. If you're more intermediate, if you've worked out before, then you're going to have to do this at least 5 times a week to have the best results possible. And you always want to do your HIIT training at the end of the workout. You never do it before. Though always weight training, your strength training comes first. First thing is that, and then is your high intensity interval training. So when it comes to slow pace cardio, only as needed. I typically have a lot of people that come to me as beginners. I'll put them on a few days of cardio just to help with the movement. But I want to really explain to you, like, and this is really important for rebooting your metabolism, is what we call NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is just basically a fancy way of saying your movement outside of your traditional workouts. This is how you're going to end up getting your cardio in. This is how you're going to help building the longevity portion of it. Okay, so really, really important to take notes. And by the way, if you would like me to send you these slides, like, just shoot me a comment here in the comment section below. Just say the words slides. That's easy enough, so I know what you're talking about, and I'll send them to you. And by the way, stay tuned. I have a very special surprise for you at the end. So everybody that's hanging out here on this training today, I have a very special surprise for you. Actually, 2 surprises, because some of you may have already got one of the surprises. So in the event that you got one of the surprises that I'm going to give, I will have a second one for you as well, which will help you out tremendously, I hope. So just I wanted to run you through. I like to showcase Alexa because she really took these tools and utilized it. And so to show you the difference right here and a lot of people can kind of resonate with this, how she had all of this extra stubborn fat just hanging around, right? Literally just within I think it was 16 weeks for her, she got this outcome. So within 4 months, this is the outcome she got. And all it was just the workouts and the nutrition that I said. So I want to show you the difference in 16 weeks when you actually apply what I'm teaching you right now. It happens very fast. Okay. Now, the second part is the nutrition solution. And this is what I call flex fuel nutrition. And I like to refer to this as the anti-diet. The anti-diet. This is not dieting at all. And this is the mindset that I want you to take, because if you're going to reboot your metabolism and actually have success with this, this is the mindset and this is the strategy that I'm going to have you do right now. So this method allows you to optimize your metabolism and balance your hormones. And it's done by eating the right amount of calories. And I'm going to explain what right means in just a moment. Like I told you, I won't leave you high and dry. But eating the right amount of calories and macronutrients for your specific needs. And this is what's going to help also leave you satisfied, because the reason most people don't actually stick to a diet is because it's too restrictive. So why does this work? Well, it's going to strategically balance your calories and macros, as I just alluded to. This is what's going to allow your insulin levels, which is basically your body's dump truck, begin to drop and release stored fat cells. So I want you to think about it like this. Insulin acts as just like a garbage truck would, right? So imagine a garbage truck or a dump truck just popping up and releasing all of the trash out. This is what's going to happen in your body with the fat cells. So the reason why, if you lose weight on the diet, a lot of times it's not actually coming from fat. A lot of it's coming from muscle, which is why you may feel deflated, or you may feel kind of skinny fat, flabby, things like that. And that's why, because you're damaging the metabolism, hence the whole point of this training today. And so this is why this works, in case you're a kind of person that needs to know the details of why things actually happen. And so when we balance this out through this nutrition solution, this is why this works so well for people. And so I'm going to teach you how to do this yourself in just a moment. And actually, I do already have a training put together that teaches you this system. And so if you haven't yet seen that training, you can also comment right now, say Flex Fuel Training below here in this thread, and I will send you that training in a message when I am done with this training. So, and then ghrelin is basically your hunger hormone, right? And so a lot of times people feel so freaking hungry when they're dieting, right? And that's for a couple different reasons, but it's an actual hormone in your body. And so a lot of times you need to make sure that you're keeping this controlled and balanced. Otherwise, you're going to feel like you need to stress eat, and you're going to feel like you need those late night snacks and things like that. And so when you have this done properly, you're not going to feel that overwhelming sense of hunger, or like, I just need to eat. Okay. And then flexible eating. Okay. As long as you stay within your correct calories and macros, this nutrition method is going to literally be able to allow you to still have your favorite foods. Like, there's many clients in, and if you're a client watching this and is currently experiencing this, like let me know how it is for you. Like, I mean, when you can eat like rices for dinner, and when you can have a piece of pizza and a glass of wine or whatever, or a craft beer, you know what I'm saying, and not feel like worried about messing up your progress, that's a great freaking feeling. And this is what I'm trying to teach you here. And this is not only, yes, this part here is what's going to reboot the metabolism and the hormones. This part here is what's going to allow you to actually maintain and sustain the process. Because if you hate the process, you're not going to maintain the process. Let's just be real right now. And so the key takeaways that I want you to have is there's a big difference between eating healthy and eating right. Just because you're chomping on an apple and like eating healthier foods does not mean that it's correct. Does that make sense? Yes, it's probably better than eating just pure junk food all of the time, but it's still not going to actually fix the problem. So I really want you to get this down, is that it's not about eating healthy. It's actually about eating right. So eating right is what I was just referring to, eating within the right calories and macronutrients. And like I said, I don't have time to go in this training on what the calories and macros are. I have a complete training on that, Flex Fuel training below. If you haven't seen that yet, you want it from me. And then don't restrict yourself, because the key takeaway I want for you here, especially when it comes to rebooting your metabolism, if you're restricting yourself, you're going to hurt yourself. Restrictions are hurtful. This is why we have a 97% failure rate where people lose weight, they'll gain it back. 97% of people in the United States of America who lose weight gain it back, and it's because they're restricting themselves. Okay. Now, eating too low will damage your metabolism and will keep you yo-yoing with weight. So getting your calories down and getting into the right framework is more important than you can ever know when it comes to optimizing your fat loss experience, okay, your fat loss journey. Now, I do want to reference on here, I have what's called the 80-20 guideline. This is where I want you to focus on eating 80% of your calories and your macronutrients should come from real whole foods. This is my own personal opinion. If you want to go 70-30 or 90-10, that's on you. This is just a framework that I have personally found over the years and with like hundreds of clients that has been most successful. So 80% of your calories should come from real whole foods. 20% of them can come from like whatever the heck you want. If you want to have a glass of wine, or if you want to have a piece of pizza or some tacos, you could fit in at 20%. And this could actually happen for some people on a daily basis. However, what I personally recommend for like the general population is that this is like a weekly guideline. Okay, 80-20 weekly, not daily. But some people can get away with the daily. And just to showcase, I like to show off so you can actually see how it looks in person. And so same thing. This dude's drinking a beer, and he learned how to do this strategically and still live his life and build his career in his family. And he was able to drop. So this is Hugo, and he was a perfect example of how to do this and actually still maintain his lifestyle, but still lose a lot of the actual stubborn fat. Okay. Now listen, as I end this presentation, if you want me to be able to help you, now, not only am I going to ask you or present to you something, like this is only for you if you're ready for this, right? If you need some more support, some more help, and you really want to be able to actually get your nutrition plan structured, get your workout plan structured, and you want to finally be able to lose your stubborn fat, you could drop in the comment section, or you could shoot me a message, whatever you prefer. Just say I'm next, say hashtag I'm next, and myself or somebody on my team will reach out to you, be able to connect with you and be able to set up a conversation so we can see if or how we can help you. Okay, so really important. If that's something that you want, I would love to be able to see if I can support you in any way. Now, the ending note thought I want to really take on this is there's a lot of different things that could be thrown at you that you can try. I really want you to hone in on the two things, okay? The two things, and by the way, I'm going to tell you a surprise in just a second, so just bear with me. But the two things I really want you to hone in on are your progressive strength training workouts and your high intensity interval training. That's number one. Okay, really focus on that. The second thing I want you to really focus on is dialing in those calories and macronutrients. If you do those two things well, and I have plenty of resources for you, so you ask me for the resources that I already mentioned, because I'm telling you right now, if you just do those two things, yes, there's other factors. These are some of the things that we'll cover inside of the 90-day stubborn spot solution program, right? But those are the main two things that if you do those two things, I can promise you right now, you will see significant changes to your body. Okay, significant changes to your body. Now, and raise your hand, like with an emoji probably or whatever. But if you have not done the 5-day metabolic jumpstart challenge, this is one of the surprise gifts I want to give to you today. It's completely free. It's just a 5-day jumpstart to help teach you some of the things that I'm just showing you now. And so if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and raise your hand or just put in the comment section below, say the words 5-day, say 5-day below, and I'll get it to you. And if you've already done that, if you've already done the 5-day challenge, we have a very special, and this is a one-time offer. Now, you have to do the 5-day before you can do this one, but I have a 21-day framework that I'm going to be giving out to people. So this is going to be completely free. It doesn't have any accountability with it. I'm going to be completely honest with you because that would cost money, obviously, for our time. But we're going to be giving away a 21-day framework that we already had put together during the worst of the coronavirus. And so like we put this together to help people out. But as we got done with it, gyms started opening back up in a lot of the areas. So we never released it. But we had this 21-day framework with workouts and nutrition and all of that stuff put together. So you have to go through the 5-day first. If you haven't done the 5-day, I will not give you the 21-day because I'm teaching you very specific things in the 5-day that will help you maximize the 21-day. So if you want the 21-day challenge, please let me know, okay? There's no accountability with it. I'm going to be completely honest. This is what really helps people is the structure and accountability. But nonetheless, you'll get a framework. So you can put 21-day below, all right? Now, as always, I always like to end whatever I do, whether it's a training or a live, with gratitude, because it's really important for us to consistently get ourselves into a present state. This is what's going to help us manage emotions. So I really want to say for myself to you, I'm really thankful for you and grateful for you. And if you know anybody that would benefit from this training or any of the trainings that we do inside of this group, all I ask is you invite them into the group. Just invite them into this high performance fat loss secrets Facebook group, as I would love to be able to help serve the people that are in your network and help more people. You know, that's kind of my mission, is helping as many people as possible transform their body, create unstoppable mindsets, and really live healthier, happier, and more fulfilling lives. So that's my ask of you. Just invite them into the group as all, if you feel like, you know, these trainings would benefit them in any way. So listen, I know I threw a lot at you today, but if you want to jump right into it, if you're interested in getting structure and getting your nutrition and the whole works, all of it down, so you can lose up to 20 to 30, up to 40 pounds max is our 48 pounds is our record, but of stubborn fat, the 90-day solution would be most likely right for you. So you could put I'm next. If you want the 5-day, say 5-day. If you want the 21-day, say 21-day. And then if you want the flex fuel training, where I tell you how to break down your calories and macros, say flex fuel. So those are 4 things that you can ask me for, different resources, and I'd be more than happy to support you. So as always, I hope you have a very healthy and happy day.